What is going on, everyone? It's Kelly here, and I'm going to be narrating my elk hunt in Colorado, and as well as some additional things I did in Colorado, my first elk hunt, and my first time meeting an amazing organization called the ACC. I'm going to get into the ACC, which stands for the American Conservation Coalition, a little bit later in the video, but first I'm going to dial into this elk hunt. Now, like I said, it was my first elk hunt, my first time packing into the mountains, which I've always wanted to do because this type of hunting is kind of like fitness. Like, you're hiking in high elevation, you're hiking miles to look for animal in order to hunt. So needless to say, this hunt was incredible, and I was told, like, this isn't normally how it always goes. Elk were bugling everywhere.
It sounded like it was in the bottom there. I can't tell where he's at either.
Oh, look at all of them. We're walking up the ridge now.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch there. Any bulls? Or all cows? Cow.
I think they're cows. They just went by in the trees.
We saw probably 5-6 different bulls with cows everywhere, and unfortunately I wasn't part of the bow shot because I did have to leave to go to the ACC retreat, so I did have to separate from our group to go do my own thing in Colorado, but it was just an amazing experience, and I did film some of it, and I want to kind of narrate through what happened with the hunt when I was there. I packed into Colorado for one night with Caleb and his friends Sebastian and Charlie, and the first sit there, we were calling elk on like top of a mountain, and they just started bugling their heads off. There was a elk that was pretty close to us, so I went ahead and set up with Caleb, who was the shooter, and Sebastian was calling behind us, and their friend Charlie was raking with this antler. Signifies that there's like a bull there, and this bull was coming in so hot, so good, but unfortunately these cows, which are female elk, happened to walk literally 15 yards behind me and Caleb, and they were in front of Sebastian and Charlie, who were calling behind us. So I think they winded our callers behind us, and they ended up spooking and running down the mountain. And when that happened, it kind of spooked the bull a little bit, but that doesn't mean the bull's gonna just like leave us. But it was getting super dark, and he did see like real female cows, so he did happen to follow them down and away from us. But it was a super good hunt the first evening, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll that footage right now.
A baby cow skull, maybe. Baby. Calf.
Baby cow.
Oh yeah.
Or calf.
A calf. Wait, look at the one behind me. There's a bunch of bones. That's a mama head. Mom and a baby. What is that? Another skull?
Yeah, must have been a winter kill.
What does that mean?
3 winters ago, we had a real rank winter. They weren't able to get down out of the snow. They got stuck up in the snow.
Oh my gosh, that's sad. So many bones.
That's a bull. It's a bull jaw.
Oh wow, yeah. That's crazy. So many bones.
There's a third one behind him to the left. Let's hitch up to this knob. We can see a little bit better. Stay low, okay? Charlie, go. Well, get your footage though. No, you're good. Stay in the shadows. Stay here. this is my first elk hunt and we actually saw elk. I'm stoked. It should stay up with these thermals right now. I think it'll stay up on this beat. Once it starts switching, we'll back off and get him. Gotta get him sucked down on these back drainages. We just heard a bugle right when we got to the edge of this mountain right here. Check out the view in front of us right now. Isn't it crazy? Can't tell that's the cow. Two cows there. Across the side. Where are the cows? Right here. Going up to that ridge where those aspens are. I really hope that just picked up the audio, but I don't know if it did. That's a different bowl back off the left side. I see the cow. Wait, I'm gonna try to see if the audio will pick up. Hey, we might be able to go make a play on that. He's up here on this ridge. Let's go try to call this bull in. We got a decent wind right now. Our thermals can drop off the backside if he stays on that ridge. Because we should see it first. Just hear him clunk. That was him clunking. I want to get eyes on this bull. It sounded like it was in the bottom there. I can't tell where he's at either. Oh, look at all of them. We're walking up the ridge now. Oh yeah, there's a bunch there. Any bulls? We're all cows. Cow. I think they're cows. They just went by in the trees. He's got to be right down in that. I think he's right around that fold, just where those cows came out of. I bet you. There's a few. I think there's a couple bulls in here. A couple big bulls. I think there's one over there. There's one pushing up where those cows just pushed up. He's got to be right down in that. I think he's right around that fold, just where those cows came out of. I bet you. In fact, let's go ahead and slip up. Slip up to the top of this ridge. We can move if we need to. Screaming. They're bugling. There's a bunch of elk talking right now. They're bugling their butts off behind us. So we were chasing a bull that was down the ridge. But as we were walking, another one just bugled right here.
We are going to get right back to the video, but first I want to tell you guys about Huff and More Puff. It's a game packed with flying pigs, massive winds, and the iconic wolf who's always ready to blow the house down. I am partnering with DraftKings Casino, and since you're watching this video, you can get 500 spins on Huff and More Puff when you play just $5. So that's 50 spins for 10 days, plus a first day replay up to 1,000 credits. If DraftKings Casino is not available in your state, you can still jump into the action with DraftKings Daily Fantasy for a shot at winning real cash prizes. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Casino app, sign up, use my promo code, Kelly Young, which is right here on the screen, and start spinning today. So as you guys can see, the first evening we had an incredible hunt. The bull didn't necessarily come up to us in a way that we wanted. We never actually saw the bull since we did get busted by those cows that walked right behind us, but that's okay. We still had the next morning to hunt and the next few days anyways. The next morning, absolutely beautiful out, beautiful sunrise, and elk, again, all around us. I mean, there were different herds of elk all over the place, and we saw a cow and I think a spike that were on top of the ridge of the mountain, and they were horizoned and with the sky. I wish it was a big bull. It would have been such a sick shot, but still a beautiful shot. I'm in love with all of the animal photography that I got on this elk hunt. Even though I wasn't hunting, it was a great experience to just kind of absorb myself in the high country, in elk hunting, because I've heard so much about it and I've never got to experience it. So I'm super excited for next year. I'm gonna get an elk tag. But the first big bull that we did see the next day was down on the bottom near water, and he did have cows with him. So having the cows with the bulls are like pros and cons, because they want to protect their cows, and then you can act like a big bull, like wanting to steal their cows, I guess. So they'll come in like aggressively where you can shoot them, or it could not work out in your favor because you could try to be a cow, like do cow calls, but they're already with their cows. So they might run away with their cows, which is kind of what happened to us on our next morning hunt. This next hunt was interesting because we were calling in one bull from our right, and then that one kind of just, it was coming in and then it stopped coming in. But at the same time, there was another bull to our left, like down on the bottom, and he was coming up the ridge to come check us out. And from what I learned with the thermals in the morning, the thermals suck the smell down the ridges. So that bull knew what he was doing. He was walking up the ridge in order to smell us, or whatever creature, aka in his head another elk, where he was positioned. So unfortunately, with our next hunt, the bull that we were calling in left with his cows. The big bull, Caleb actually saw it about 40 yards behind the brush. I didn't see it because I was squatted down filming. He caught our thermals and spooked. After those few hunts, a big storm did roll in on top of the mountains. It hailed on us. It got really cold for probably about 20 minutes, and then the sun was out and it was hot, and then 10 minutes later a storm rolled in again, hailing. It was freezing. And that was something that was different that I've never experienced, was just like insane climate change. Like within 10, 15, 20 minutes, it went from like 80 degrees to like 65 and hailing.
It's hailing. How you doing up there?
After the hailstorm, there was actually a double rainbow, which was really cool. So I thought that was kind of good luck.
That's the closest I've ever been to a rainbow. Look at this. We got double rainbows.
Unfortunately, towards the afternoon, I did have to pack up my stuff, head out, and go to my retreat, but I knew the boys were going to kill a bull, if not that evening, tomorrow morning, and they did get it done. So when I was away, I got photos of an incredible hunt that they did, and I wish I could have been there to film it, but there's always next time.
She just smoked in front of 45 yards. Son, did he go over? He just laid down right there. He's died. Son.
I actually did buy some mule deer tags for this November, so there's gonna be a mule deer hunt on my channel as well in a few months, which I'm super excited about, and it's gonna be freezing, so I'm super excited for these new experiences. But you guys, check out this incredible elk footage.
What? Oh, it's a bull.
It's a real good bull.
Yeah. It's near the water. Oh, he's chasing a doe.
Hey, he's got a bunch of cows on him. If we get inside his circle, which I think we can try to rip one on him. Rake, but start with a couple cows, but get straight to the bull. Okay? Because if we can get that tight on him and his cows, he may come try to push us off. He's pushing his cows around hard.
Yeah. He's really good. He's going to the right. He's moving. We're in the bull call.
He's pushing it down. That must be his hot cow down there.
Hold on. Oh, he's chasing a cow. Dang it. He's moving.
It is pouring down rain at my house right now, but the second part of this trip was where I met up with the ACC, which is an organization that gathered a group of like-minded people that want to help make America beautiful again and to help with conservation. We stayed at these cute little log cabins on top of the mountain. I believe it was called Grand Mesa Mountain. And then that night we went to this beautiful winery on another mountain, and there was all these sheep out in the pasture next to where we were eating, and the view that evening was spectacular. I think I got a picture or a video, but it was a mountain with all the animals in the pasture, and like the sunset was like glistening off the mountain, and it was pink and absolutely gorgeous. The next day we did a river float, and that's exactly what it sounds like. We literally got in these blue rafts with oars, and we just floated down the river in between the canyons, which was absolutely beautiful. I think it was the Gunson River. And then we parked the boats on the bank, walked up to this big rock that had petroglyphs that were carved into the rocks. I forget exactly how old they were. I think they were like a few hundred years. Not too sure on that, but it was really cool just to see the animals and the drawings that were carved into these rocks by natives that used to live there years ago. So there was some pretty cool history there. I think my favorite part about this retreat was we went horseback riding around one of the United States' largest regenerative cattle ranches. And this is something that I learned about years ago when I watched this documentary called Kiss the Ground on Netflix. And years to come, I actually met Ryland, who was very heavily involved in making that documentary. He was there on the trip, and we learned a lot about regenerative cattle ranching and farming and how it benefits our food and our farmers' pockets. What regenerative cattle ranching means is that you have cattle on specific parts of your land and you rotate them. That way there's not overgrazing done. Now, this is all to make better soil. And I'm trying to explain this in a way that you can understand. Our industrial farmers strip crops from the soil. It takes a lot of the carbon out of our soil, and it just leaves the soil not very nutrient dense and dry. And a lot of times you're gonna have to use chemicals and pesticides and fertilizers to replenish that soil to plant more crops. Well, with regenerative cattle ranching, you're using cow manure and grazing, this is interesting, and I'm trying to remember from the show. When an animal eats grass and breaks off that grass, it stimulates something in the grass that produces carbon throughout the roots and makes the soil more full of carbon, which is what we need for healthy plants. So the cattle's move throughout their property, and there's always going to be weeds, there's going to be plants growing within that soil to make it healthier, if that makes sense. There's going to be a biodiversity of plants on this soil at all times. And it really does make sense when you watch the documentary Kiss the Ground and the new one called Common Ground. So I think every American should watch this show, and just to educate yourself on our regenerative farming industry and our industrial farming industry. The ACC is a nonpartisan conservative organization. It has over 85,000 members at branches around the country. At ACC, they promote a conservative approach to conservation, active forest management, regenerative agriculture, and ecosystem and water conservation. The American outdoors are our natural heritage, and we owe it to our future generations to steward it responsibly. And this video is coming to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I tried to piece together the video the best I could, and I probably left out some things, but you know, sometimes it is what it is. But the elk hunting was absolutely incredible. Super stoked about that, and I'm so excited to go next year. Can't wait. And I'm excited for my mule deer tag too. But as for the ACC, if you guys want to educate yourselves or learn more about the ACC, their organization and what they do, I'll put a link in the description below as well. And if you want to make a donation, that would be fantastic. Supporting them means pretty much making America beautiful again. And that's really all there is to it. So right now this video is ending. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a positive comment below, give this video a thumbs up, and feel free to share videos on your social media platforms with friends, with family. It would mean the world to me, and I can't do what I love doing without you guys. So thank you. I will see you guys on the next one. See ya.